back, Dynamic Gang. If you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. So, I wanted to say this in the first video, but I forgot to say it. So I'm going to say it in this video. All the pricing that I do is from eBay. I'm sure you could find people that are having yard sales or garage sales, or you can find it on a flea market. They might be cheaper. But eBay is really the only place that I like to shop, because you can bid, you can make an offer. There's so many advantages of going on eBay. I sell, I trade. I used to sell a lot of my old Yu-Gi-Oh decks on there and my old Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I had a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like tins, you name it. And that's one of the reasons why I started collecting a lot of the stuff that I don't want to open Yu-Gi-Oh, because now that I look at, like, some of the tins are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. And you look at some of the booster boxes and they're worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So anyway, I'm going to shut up and we're going to look at why you guys tuned in today. We tuned in to look at the Onslaught series of Marvel Legends. Now, I will say I have no variants. This was one of the very first series that I started collecting. I really didn't care about the variants. I only cared about getting the figure and all the pieces. But now that I'm older and I realize, yeah, maybe I should have got some of the variants. So probably throughout, the rest of the year, I might pick them up, depending on what it is. So anyway, we're going to start off with Lady Deathstrike. This is the least favorite of the series. I'm not a big Lady Deathstrike fan. I just don't like the way they made her face look. I'm a big fan of detail, as you can see. I think they could have done a little bit better job, but it looks kind of cheesy to me. And I never really liked her in the comics. Like, I understand what purpose she serves for Wolverine and whatnot, but to be honest with you, I am not in any way, shape, form a fan of Lady Deathstrike. Never have, never will be. Now, you can see some of the variants here. I do not know if there's a secret variant. I will do research and I will put it at the end of the video so you can see if there is or not. But this is how it would look if it was all put together. Remember, this is probably my second. This is my second time having it. Meaning, like, this was the very first one that I collected, but I went ahead and bought all the things again for my kids, and they opened it up and they put the things together when they were little and they wanted to play with the action figure. So Lady Deathstrike, I really don't know. I really don't care about her backstory. I know that she played a really big part of Wolverine's backstory. I know that she was part of I forgot the name of the assassins that had Bone Breaker in it, which was that guy who was like a tank, and some other cyborgs. And she was in the cartoon back in the 90s. She is in the comics. Again, she's canon, but I mean, I really don't personally. I could do without her. So anyway, this piece gives you the torso and head. So, all right, we're gonna move on. So one of my favorite figures from here is Loki. I do like, if you look at how his face is kind of disfigured. If you read a lot of his older comics when he was with Thor and stuff, that is exactly how the face looks. We're gonna look at the packaging. It's pretty good. It held up pretty good over the years. This one gives you the right arm, and the variant for this one is actually, I guess, if you look at his face, you can see his mouth is sort of open. Again, I don't have that variant. I have this one. So, yeah. Again, I will display all the prices on the screen for you so you can see. But Loki has always been a fan favorite. I mean, like, he played so many tricks, and he was working with Dr. Doom. They kidnapped Odin when he was in the Odin sleep. I mean, there's so many stuff that Loki has done that you can't help but admire his, like, antagonists and his storyline. And there's so much you could do with this character. And I mean, if you ever watched the Incredible Hulk, the animated movies where he tricked Banner coming over there, he ripped Banner from Hulk, and Hulk was just rampaging. I don't know if that's canon or not. It was canon for the anime, so it's pretty cool. So that's that one. Again, a pretty cool character. You know, you got Pyro here. He is an X-Men character. Loki was, I would say, all-around villain for everybody. He wasn't just an antagonist for Avengers. He fought against the Avengers, Fantastic Four. He's fought against Spider-Man. I mean, Loki is not one of those villains where he just stays, you know, put. He's like a Doctor Doom. Pyro, he might have went outside and fought some other superheroes other than the X-Men, but he's pretty much an X-Men character, villain, just because he's part of the Evil Mutants, or the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I'm sorry. And this one gives you the lower torso and shell of the Onslaught. He can only manipulate fire. He doesn't make it, but it's still pretty cool. I think he's like, every time I see this right here, even though he came out years before Bane, I don't know, I always look at these and I always think about Bane. I don't know why. Yeah, it's dusty. I haven't took these off and really dust them. I should. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll buy like a duster. Yeah, he's a character to throw in as like a henchman. He's not really a boss. I would never, you know, he's not a threat. I would say the threat level with him is 1. You know, I think even Jubilee can take him on, and it's Jubilee, and you see how much I care about her. There's no variant for him unless there's a secret variant. Again, I don't know if one of these are the secret variants. I don't even know if this one has it. So if there is, I will put it at the end of the video. But there's not too much to say about Pyro. He's, you know, the condition of it looks good. I mean, you have like a little banged up right here. I don't know how much that would affect because this is plastic, but you know, people will want to get as much off of it as they can. So who knows? As you can see right here, it was $13 when I bought it. So we'll see how much it is when I put the price on the screen. All right. Now, in my last video, I did say that, you know, a lot of these toys were $15 and $20 when you go to Walmart. That one was actually, I bought that at a toy store in New Jersey. The toy store, of course, isn't there anymore, but, you know, that's why it was marked down to $13. But, you know, you might get lucky shopping around. This was like back in the early 2000s. I'm pretty sure you won't find that now. Everything, because they don't make them anymore. Toy Biz, I think Toy Biz lost the license to that, and I think Hasbro took it over. So if you look on the back of this, oh, look at that, $13 too. That's pretty cool. If you see this Toy Biz, they don't really do this anymore. Now, when Marvel Legends are made, they're made by Hasbro. Hasbro is a really big company. I mean, they do everything from Monopoly to board games to, I think some card games. I can't remember exactly which card game. I think maybe Uno, but no, I think Mattel makes Uno. I'm not quite sure on that. The fun thing about this Onslaught series, and the reason why I started collecting it, and maybe I'll give you guys a little hint. I don't know about the variants. Maybe the variants are a little bit more expensive. But these toys are not that expensive because I looked up the whole Onslaught toy, and when you build a figure, some of them go for about $200, maybe $250, maybe $150. Like the Sentinel will go for a good $200, right? This one you can actually get for $60 to $70. And I mean, like, think about all the toys you have to buy in order to get all the pieces to make him. So in my perspective, I think the Onslaught series is one of the cheapest, besides Mojo, besides the Mojo series, because I did have the Mojo series. I did not have the MODOK. That's that little flying head. I think it's the Machine Assassin Made to Kill or Directed to Kill. I forgot what the name stands for, but it's all abbreviated. So MODOK stands for something. I just don't remember exactly what it is. What I will do is I will put If I do get the MODOK series, we will go over that, and I will put exactly what it means with his name, but you guys can look that up. Anyway, so the Onslaught series, you got Abomination. Okay, you got the Marvel Legends. It looks pretty good. Like I said, this is just, you know, putting it in boxes and moving and this and that. It takes a wear on it. You can actually see right there, that's actually a factory flawed. It's not really open, so you know, I don't see too many people taking money off that because it was a factory error. But hey, listen, if you ship this out and you get it graded, then a lot of the graders, even if it's a factory done, because that's what Yu-Gi-Oh does. Like even if you open a Yu-Gi-Oh card, I'll give you an example. Let's say that I just got this right out of the tin, or I just got this out of a pack, and let's say that the corner's ripped, or it's a little faded, right? I didn't do that, but they don't know that. They can only go by what you send them in, and then they might grade it and be like, oh, well, this is a 7 or this is an 8. Unfortunately, when you open it up from the factory, it sucks. It sucks because that's exactly what can happen. You could get really funky cards, or you can get damaged, and guess what? Even though it came from the factory, you didn't do it. How are they supposed to know? They can only grade it from what they see. So, you know, right off the bat, I already know if I sent this in, the grading would be horrible, horrendous. I don't know if that would affect it, but anyway, if you look over here, it looks like his face. If you look at his face, it looks like it's closed, and you see the mouth. This is the one I have. You can see the mouth right there. So I do not have the variant on this one, unfortunately. Again, this is one of the older ones I got. This was actually the very first one I started collecting. I know I'm a broken record. I'm sorry, but you know, this was the cheapest. As you can see, they were like $13. So, I mean, at the time, I don't know what they're worth now. We'll put it up on the screen. Okay, so you got Blackheart. Now, there's a few things wrong with this, like right here. Let's see if I can show you. See how it came apart? You know, I don't like that, and there's nothing I can do about that. All I could do is just, you know, keep it like that. Maybe put some tape around it. Yeah, I know it's going to bring down the value. There's nothing I can say. Again, this is $13. You can see how much I paid for it back in the day. At this point, there's nothing I can do. You know, look at that. It's open. The only thing I could say is to replace this by buying a new one. So this is pretty interesting. Blackheart is, it says right here, is the son of Mephisto, and Mephisto was a big villain. He's the devil. He pretty much fights Silver Surfer. He was friends with Thanos. He's fought the X-Men. He's fought. I mean, he's a villain that goes even Ghost Rider. So Mephisto is a pretty bad-ass character that is a villain for everybody, not just the X-Men, not just the Avengers. It's pretty much all over. And his son, it was actually funny because I was reading a comic where Blackheart tried to take over Hell. He betrayed Mephisto. There's a whole big thing on it. Again, I don't know too much about Blackheart. Mephisto, I've always loved the character. I think he's awesome. You know, the first time I saw him was in the Uncanny X-Men. I forgot what issue it was, but his father, I'll put a picture of what his father looks like. But yeah, so this one right here, I would have to probably buy a new one. You can see how it all, and you know what it is? I'm going to be honest with you. This is probably when it dropped. You can see right here. It dropped, it let go, you know, and the glue and whatnot. But like I said, this is the cheapest. I'm sure it's not going to cost more than like $30-40 to replace this guy. This one gives you the left leg. Blackheart's been cool. I loved him in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. If you ever played it, leave it down in the comments. I love that game. That's actually one of the reasons I bought Dreamcast. So, all right, now we're gonna get to another favorite character of mine that's in this. They got a lot of heavy bangers in this. Green Goblin. Why do I like Green Goblin? Oh, I don't know, because he was the first one to actually take the mask off Spider-Man and show everybody that it was Peter Parker under the mask. He was also the same one that kidnapped Gwen Stacy, and Spider-Man is supposedly that he snapped her neck, but she already died even before he even did it. So it just mind messed with him the whole time. And I think this is Norman Osborn. I don't think this is Harry Osborn. So a couple things I liked about this. This does give you the right leg. So that's the last piece. I I really like it because, you know, how Goblin had the same thing with the glider. I think I forgot the last name of Hobgoblin, but I think it was Jason, and I forgot his last name. As you can see some of these, you know, again, a dent, and, you know, it's not the perfect. I've had this. What year did this came out? Let me see. 2006. So this came out 2006. That's as long as I've had it. And I got these at the comic book store. Not the comic book store, the toy store. Again, they're not around anymore. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And if you look at his variant, that's the one without his mask. And that looks like Norman. That looks exactly like Norman. That's Norman Osborn. That's not Harry. So that's definitely Norman. So, yeah. So all these together, you know, it's pretty cool. Like I said, if you guys want to start getting into this stuff, I'm sure finding them online, you're going to have the cheapest to buy these. There's only 6 of them. Some of them go up to 10, like the Giant Man series goes up to 10. The Onslaught series goes up to 7. The most expensive thing on the Onslaught, I'm actually just waiting for, it is Spider-Man, and we will talk about that. Spider-Man, his first appearance. That one set me back $150 just for the one toy by itself. That's why sometimes if you see them together, they'll be like, all right, if you buy this in a bundle, they'll charge you $200-300 because you're getting them all at once. I like to do it all, you know, separate. You know, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's also good, like when you're pricing it, you know, that way you're not dropping $300-400 all at once, because that hurts. I don't care how much money you have. I mean, no, that's not true. If you have a lot of money, then you probably won't care, because that's like nothing for you. But if you're like a medium class like I am, and you know, $400 is $400. That's like, trust me, that's a lot of money. You know, especially if you have kids and stuff. So, we're gonna get into some other stuff. Oh, actually, this would be a good time. I'm not really big on the new Power Rangers, but if you grew up in the 90s and you tell me you never watched the Power Rangers, you're lying. So right now we have an exclusive from GameStop. This is my favorite Ranger out of all of them. Again, he is the white one. He turns into white one. I can't remember exactly what his name was. I know it was Jason something. That you know, he was the green one and he went to the white one, and he had a flute and he would take on all the Power Rangers. So it's actually pretty cool. This is probably like one of my most favorite pieces that I have in my collection. Like I said, if you grew up in the 90s, Power Rangers were really big. I don't know too much about the newer Power Rangers. You know, I know that there's a bunch of them out, and I'm not going to rag on them because, like I said, it's just like new school rock and roll, new school hip hop. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean like somebody else doesn't like it, right? But it's pretty cool because, remember, he only had a flute. He had like a little dagger, and and this guy had like his own Megazord, and he went against, or Dragonzord, whatever it was, and he went against this big ass robot, and he beat him by himself. One person beat all 5 of them. Isn't that kind of crazy? But the whole crew was awesome, man. I love this whole crew. I think this came out in like 92 or 93. So yeah, this was a GameStop exclusive. I definitely will put. You know what I think I'll do? I'll put down how much this used to cost, because I remember getting this for $24. This was $24. I remember exactly. This was GameStop. It was exclusive, and it was like a pre-order. And I pre-ordered this for $24. So we're gonna see how much this is, and we'll see how much it gained in value. All right. So thank you again. I know the video is kind of long, but I appreciate you. And we're gonna put all the prices and stuff up on the thing. We're gonna go for the variants. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look now. When I make the prices, I will make the prices for variants. Okay, so you might be a little cheaper for the toys that I'm seeing in the thing. But what I'll do is I'll get to the most extreme toys, the more expensive toys on this, so you guys have a price range of where you want to go. Collecting toys is awesome. If anybody has a problem with collecting toys, that's because they haven't tried it. It's hard at first to not open it up, but you get some kind of satisfaction when you look at the prices over the years and you see it building up. And especially with the Voltron that I have, right here, especially with the certification, I mean, there's some kind of gratification that you get, because yes, it costs money to get, But knowing that they only made 15,000 of these and you have a certification for that, I mean, it's awesome. It makes you feel like not productive, but it makes you feel like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just you know, if you collect anything in life, like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, there's some kind of satisfaction that you get from collecting. I don't know. Maybe it's hoarding, maybe it's not, but I mean, there is some kind of form of hoarding. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you all. And we'll get right back into the Sentinel as soon as the Spider-Man comes. Thank you.